Hey friends, Krista Moreland here with K-More Macro. Today I'm going to show you how to import a recipe into MyFitnessPal. The first thing you're going to do is go into MyFitnessPal and open the app. And I'm going to import it into tomorrow so it doesn't mess up the stuff that I've already logged for today. You can see while I'm in here, I already have my pre-workout logged in because I'm starting to plan ahead for tomorrow. I'm going to show you guys today my favorite Skinny Taste dessert. So because of that, I'm going to actually add the food into my snacks. So I'm going to touch Add Food. Then at the top, underneath Search for Food, you see Recent, Frequent, My Food, Meals, and Recipes. I want you to touch Recipe. And then you can see that I have in here a bunch of recipes since I've been tracking for about 2.5 years. There's a lot of stuff that I've added in here, including Skinny Taste recipes. And there's a very good reason why I even import recipes that I know the macro count on, like Skinny Taste recipes. They tell you what the macros are. Well, I use different ingredients, so I always import the recipe and then I change the ingredients to match exactly what I have in my home because she is not cooking with my exact macro ingredients. So after you go to recipes, I want you to create a recipe, and you're going to touch on create a recipe. And then you're going to add from the web for the sake of today. Entering your ingredients manually is the same exact thing. So if I don't have a recipe, I enter them manually and I just scan everything that I have and I'm adding and the portions into the app. It's really easy. So at the top where it says recipe name or URL, you're going to paste the URL and then hit go. And it brings up the recipe that is actually online. So I'm going to scroll down to where they list out the ingredients because it imports the recipe a lot better than if you do it up above where she's writing. I find that if you do it over the ingredients, it takes the ingredients. If you do it on the writing, sometimes it copies over some of the writing. Then the next thing you're going to do is hit import recipe. And then you can see all of the ingredients listed right there. I don't do any modifications here. I do it when I tab over to the right. So I'm going to touch the arrow to the right. And then now you can see all of the ingredients and the portions of those ingredients in here. But I will tell you that I can't tell a difference between a third less Philadelphia cream cheese, so I use fat-free. So I'm going to touch on that, and then I'm going to search for an alternative at the bottom in that gray bar. And then in the little search tab, I'm going to search for fat-free cream cheese. And then you can see it brings up the Philadelphia fat-free cream cheese. And I can see at the top it says the recipe calls for 8 ounces of 1/3. So I'm going to have to change the portions by putting in 8 ounces and then check marking it. Oops. Okay, so then, there are a few other things that I change. Like I use a brown sugar Splenda blend, and I use a light True Whip because that's what I like to use. So you're going to tab over to the right, and you'll see the cheesecake, you'll see the servings, but then when you look down at the macros, you're like, whoa, 27 grams of fat, and we used a fat-free cream cheese. That doesn't look right, doesn't sound right. So I'm going to go back into my recipe and I'm going to check all of these ingredients and make sure that they match and they make logical sense. I will tell you right now, I know that the crust is wrong because it says there's 7,200 calories in a ninth of the crust. So I'm going to touch on the crust. And they have it as 0.1 crust in here, and there's 72 servings of it. There's no way there's 72 servings. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to search for the crust and see if it will let me use one whole container. And then I'm going to leave a number of servings, would be 1, right? Because it would be the whole container. And then when we hit over and we arrow to the right, it's going to divide it up into 10 servings. That's why I don't have to divide the crust into 10 in the last screen, because this screen is going to do it for me. So that looks a lot more reasonable for a slice of no-bake cheesecake pumpkin spice from Skinny Taste recipe. So once you have that, and I actually lower the sugar a little bit more and I lower the fat a tiny bit more because I use a little bit of a different ingredients in mine. But once you have it and you have it set the way that you want it, you hit save and log it. And then it automatically saves your recipe, and it automatically, when you check this little arrow at the top, saves that serving for you in your snacks. So now it's in your snacks. Okay, so let's say that the next time you go to make this, you decide, I want to use full fat cream cheese. I used fat free last time, and this time I want to use full fat. So you're going to go to the more menu with the 3 dots at the bottom, and you're going to look for the little chef's hat where it says meals, recipes, and foods. Okay, so now you can go into your pumpkin spice no bake cheesecake, and then what you can do is edit recipe. And you can go back into here and you can search for alternative, and you can look up cream cheese, and you can use the full fat one. You can find it. Ooh, blueberry, wouldn't that be so good? So then you just do the regular one if you wanted to, and we know that it calls for 8 ounces, so I'm going to change this to 8. Okay. And then let's say that's what I wanted to use this time. Then I arrow over, and you can now see that my cheesecake is going to cost me 12 grams of fat, 24 carbs, and 2.6 grams of protein. And then if I wanted that slice, then I would hit save and log it, and then it would check mark it, and it logs it into my snacks for that day. I went into today, which is no big deal. See, it's right here at the bottom. So that's it. That's all I have for you. It's pretty simple, pretty easy, not a big deal. If you have any questions, post below and I will help you out.